Here we are, folks. The bookend, the Boba Fett official, unofficial after show. We're about to spoil episode number 6. So if you don't want spoils, do not hit pause and come back to this after you've watched episode 6 of the Book of Boba Fett. Okay. So last warning, we're going to spoil away in 3, 2, 1. You had your chance. The return of Skywalker, some strange dude in the desert, and where the hell is Boba Fett? This week on the bookend.
Stand by to receive our transmission. Stand by to receive our transmission.
Brian.
Yes, Silas.
I have never had the feeling of thoroughly enjoying a show while being thoroughly mad at it like I have, particularly now in episode 6. I loved the stuff that was shown to me as a Star Wars fan if I had randomly found it on YouTube. But I was so angry that it was presented to me in this show with this title. Episode 6 is called From the Desert Comes a Stranger.
Yeah.
We spent like 2 minutes in the desert. Okay. Like that was for one. I couldn't tell where this was supposed to take place. Like, where are we taking place? Is it a Mandalorian story? Is this a Grogu story? Is this a Boba Fett story? It's called Boba Fett. Boba Fett was in it for maybe, was it 30 seconds?
2 minutes.
Was it even, it was 2 minutes?
About 2.5 minutes during the planning scene at the end, which we're jumping ahead, sir.
Yeah, well, yeah. But thoroughly overall, it was drive from an artistic standpoint. I was like, this episode has no continuity of feeling or time. Like, we're spending a random amount of time in forestry and then a few little, at first it started off, I think, in the desert, right? And then I'm like,
you're all over the place.
You're
all over the place. Right
I don't
now.
know. Here's the thing. It doesn't even matter for this episode, probably.
I'm trying to be so good right now. I'm just waiting for you to take a breath.
Where were they? I don't know. Who cares? They're not interested in continuity or feeling or artistic expression at this point. It was just like, hey, we had a story idea. Got to fit it in somewhere.
The
Book of Boba Fett? The Book of Boba Fett? Let's just put whatever story we want. Let's just put into this Book of Boba Fett.
This episode was kind of like what happens when you see someone rifling through the recycled paper stock before it goes into the actual recycle bin, because they'll find a couple pieces of paper and think, oh, I could turn that upside down and run it through the printer. I'm saving the planet. There's something that should be done here. There's a story that needs to be told. Let's completely stop the entire continuity of a series that people have been waiting for since 1992 and completely just destroy this new year so far. Betty White, tons of other people, the groundhog, the actual groundhog that was supposed to stick his head up and see his goddamn shadow, it died 3 days prior to Groundhog Day. And now what else is left?
Well, it
a
probably
show about Boba Fett that doesn't have Boba Fett. I need to get my money back.
It was only living.
I'm going to stay on the line with Disney Plus. I'm going to ramble over anything you say because you just spent 2 minutes rambling, and I'm going to get my money back or make them give me a discount if they don't give me an episode with Boba Fett actually acting. I would take a back to tank flashback scene at this point. I missed that because at least I knew at some point it would get back to the show on hand versus the entire last episode and the entire of this episode, which was Fan Base 101. There were girls and fanboys and fangirls and fan thems everywhere losing their mind because of what we just witnessed.
Yeah. And
at the same time, we don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
So let's start at the top, sir.
It's
You don't even know what to say. You don't even know what to say.
I don't. It was it's just mind-boggling to me that you could actually spend of a 7-episode series have 2 episodes that are barely about the character that you've billed for this whole thing.
You know it's going to happen, right? It's going to end. This next week's episode is going to have just enough to make us basically pee our pants a little bit. It's going to piss us off. It's going to be left on the most stupid asinine cliffhanger in the world. And then whenever season 3 of Mando comes out, the first 2 episodes of The Mandalorian are going to be primarily Boba Fett, this story arc centric, and it's going to resolve everything that we had to wait 6 goddamn months to see completed. That's exactly what's going to happen right now. That's exactly what's Dave Filoni, Lucas, and Favreau are sitting back in a chair, sharing, a pile of donuts, laughing their asses off, just watching the fans explode like pop rocks all over the interwebs.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I think that would be a hilarious troll of everybody.
They're
I want them
totally
to at least tell me like, oh, Boba Fett got COVID, so we couldn't shoot anymore. So we had to do a bunch of filler episodes of Mandalorian. So we did those. Just like admit to it or something. And
two podcasts ago, I said that none of this stuff is done without purpose. They are changing the way we view quote unquote television. They're changing the way we absorb content. They're not allowing us to binge. They're going back to week episodes, right? It's causing havoc out there in Netflix world and streaming world because people can't go watch their Disney Channel all 7 episodes at the same time. And they're stretching this out. They're making us revert back to the 80s where I had to stand next to my television with the antennas in hand so my father could watch his game, whatever the case was. Yay, sport. I mean, they're getting back to traumatizing us and making us wait painfully, and they can do whatever they want to. It's their playground, and we're stuck in it.
I'm actually in favor of the weekly drops. I do not like binge.
I am too. I didn't say I wasn't in favor of it, but the point is, half of the generation out there watching it, or half of the multitude of fans out there watching it, are used to being able to binge. So they're causing everybody to take a moment, step back, and admire their work, have more time to harp about stuff. And like I said, Filoni's having a heyday with this.
Okay. Opening scene.
Are we going to cover the episode?
Yeah. Opening scene.
Okay.
We get we're back to the desert.
We are.
Pikes are rifling through, or they're not rifling through, but they're
doing a dime bag transaction with spice.
Something, yeah. There's some spice.
It's basically Linwood.
The gunslinger, the sheriff of Mos
Espa or Mos Eisley?
No, he was like the third one.
Oh yeah. Well, now it's been renamed as Freetown.
Oh yeah, Freetown.
Yeah.
So the Freetown, keep on rocking in the Freetown. So he's there and breaks up this little drug exchange, and which I'm excited about because I'm like, oh, we're back.
Yeah, total gunslinger. He pops 2 of them. Boom, pew pew pew. Yep.
Showing these. I'm like, oh, we're gonna show him. He's gonna go help Boba, and I don't know how. Somehow Mandalorian got to get him over, but he's gonna end up being part of this. I know. So I'm excited because here's an episode that's gonna definitely, for sure, take place on Tatooine, and it's all gonna be about.
Yeah, you were misled. You were misled, son. You see Timothy Oliphant, you get all fangirl. You're a fan of yourself, and I'm forgetting what his name is in the series. But Tim, you put him on screen, I'll watch it. I don't care. I think he's a great actor. I think he's fun. He looks great in this role. I love the subtle suggestions toward, the fact that he's standing differently now that he doesn't have his armor, right? Yeah. He looks more like trying to look small. In a gunfight, he's kind of turned his body off to the side versus just.
Well, you don't want to get hit.
Yeah. So his character's great. He's more Han Solo than Han Solo is right now, as far as my mind goes.
Oh, he's kind of badass.
Yeah, he's fantastic. It's just like out of the good, bad, and the ugly gunslinger type. Until the end,
it was beautifully shot. I thought it was beautifully shot.
I like the fact that he just kicks over the spice. He's like, I don't need this. Not in my town.
Is it half sand?
Well, it's what's extracted from the sand. So everything you saw in there is the spice. But
No,
I mean,
there's no spice on Tatooine, right? This is just like it's coming through the town, right?
I don't know. Oh no, actually, no, there is spice on the. So I mean, basically, it's Arrakis. It's Dune, because
Yeah.
when Boba Fett was having his trips with the Tuscans, that was a sand-based situation where the swirling had the sand inherently in it. So
Okay.
Tatooine does have sand in it. There's an extraction process, and then it's refined into a drug. The spice.
So like opium. It's just a flower.
It's like opium. Yeah, exactly.
But then you can mess with it and make it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do I have anything there? Okay.
No.
Good.
Okay. And so he warns this guy, you get out of here and you tell I'm going to let you live. You tell your friends not to come back here. And we're like, he's a badass. I made him leave.
By the way, that's the same type of speeder skip that was used in the Solo movie during that one properly done land speeder chase.
Okay.
Great, basically flash or tribute toward the Solo movie, which I still think needs a lot more love than it got.
Yeah.
So it's like the same make model that they used to on the in the getaway scene. So I thought that was cool.
Okay. But like, is that really a nod to it, or is it just that's what?
Well, I think
purposeful?
For idiots like me that have no life, we're paying attention to finite details. All of these are little tie-ins from the continuity-ness of the universe. I love the fact that they're doing stuff like that.
From the desert comes a stranger. There comes the title line. And so then immediately, of course, to make that work, we go to a spaceship.
Oh, sure.
Flying into a jungle planet. Yeah. Which did you at first go, wait a second, are you really flying to the place that he was lost?
Yeah,
Didn't it look like that at first?
I stopped it again with my kids to make sure we were watching The Mandalorian. I was watching Boba Fett. I was like, what's going on?
It's like, wait, I thought it was the planet that Luke was hanging out in first.
Yeah.
But then it made it clear. No, it's definitely not that one.
Wait. So you thought it was the water planet from Rise of Skywalker? The most recent 3 films? You thought they were going into that?
Well, at first, because I thought I saw water at first that he flew amongst the water.
There was like a lake or something.
Like a lake. Well, first I was afraid was it a water planet? It was just the one that he was
the one that he exiled himself to was primarily a water planet with.
I was afraid it was that.
Yeah,
that's what I was afraid of, and I was like,
that doesn't make sense. Admit it.
Well, that's what I was looking. I was like, if there's porgs here, I'm going to be kind of pissed off.
Yeah, I would have turned it off, quite honestly, if the porgs were there. I'd have been like, "Fuck it, I'm done."
But no, R2's there, which was
R2's there.
Look, yes, huge smile when I saw that,
and he was dressed in the Sith Lord outfit because that's actually what he is. So that was fantastic. He's like, "Come to me."
Oh, and I guess R2 would have known him he didn't know Mandalorian. So
why did R2 kind of treat him like a stranger, and why when Ashoka steps out? Well, I guess I'm jumping ahead a smidge, but Ashoka treated him like she didn't know him, kind of. That was very odd.
No, I didn't get that.
She kind of introduced herself like, I'm a friend of the family. It's like, Mando knows you, for God's sakes.
Well, I think it was why are you here? Like, oh, that's weird. What are you doing here?
Oh, because I'm a friend of the family, I'm there. Meaning, if I were Ashoka right there, I don't know if you.
Well, okay, I'm saying he wasn't sure. He didn't know why she was there, because she had last time he left. I don't want anything to do with training Grogu. He's there to where Grogu is. Yeah. So that's how I got it. The friend of the family line was fan service.
A total fan service, but I loved it because she's totally nodding, like, yeah, that's right, Darth Vader, Skywalker.
I just kind of like, I was tripping on that, going like, oh, you know who he was. Oh.
Well, she did. Oh, that's right. You haven't watched the cartoons, man. You need to
no,
get
but
some
there's nothing
man.
Wait, in Rebels? Do they talk about
it happens.
She knows.
She fights him in the lens cracks, or the mask cracks, and she sees a portion of Anakin's face and his mean yellow eyes with the red pupils.
I only missed 2 seasons.
Dude,
they did a lot in those last 2 seasons.
So much. I can't believe you're hosting the show and you haven't done that.
I spent 3 seasons watching that dang cartoon, and it wasn't until the last 1.5 They decided to bring everybody else in. Jeez.
Yeah, plus the last season of the Clone Wars itself, that was brilliant. The one that they reissued. Anyway, yeah,
maybe
okay.
I'll watch that. I don't know.
You need to, but yeah, I thought
And
that was
then-
total fan service. I'd like some of those worker ants around my house, just for the record. I think those were wicked. I loved it.
I do think that's a fun. I mean, okay. My initial thought on it was like, how come there has to be a different droid to do everything? Like every little task, they have a new droid. But then, you know what? On the way here today, on the way to my studio, I did drive by a construction site.
Yeah.
And there is a different machine for almost
Yeah.
every little job you have.
Yeah. Well,
But it
plus,
does
have
seem
you ever
funny.
noticed how many versions of the Roomba there actually are? There's like 15 different
Yeah.
Roombas. You
For
know?
this kind of room, or this kind of room,
Exactly.
or this kind of room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or this
The
dance.
droids there are very specific tasks. So we bought a bunch of spider droids to help build, I guess, the first.
It's the
temple.
Jedi. It's the
Gonna
Jedi
be the
Academy.
new Jedi Academy, yeah.
Did you know it was that the second you saw it?
I just assumed I mean,
Okay.
I didn't have to have seen anything else to know that's what it's going to be.
So in my mind, it was completely and totally immediately on fire, just like in one of the three of the most recent films when they show the destruction of the Jedi Academy based off of Kylo Ren fighting it out with Luke. I saw that and I was like, oh, hell yeah, look what they're doing. They're showing it in its obviously birthing stage, the building stage. Everything around it isn't burnt to a cinder. It's this beautiful forest. I mean, the forest battles they had there just knocked it all to crap.
Yeah.
Including the surrounding area. So I was totally stoked.
Huh. I hadn't thought that deeply into it yet. I was just more enjoying the view. Yeah, he does really. It's a lush green, and then when we see it in the flashback, it's all burnt.
And he's the first student. So that's, I don't know if that's fan service or just important to point out. Well, yeah, true.
We don't know
but
yet.
He's being pitched as Grogu as the first student of the academy. I thought was interesting.
Which I was like, oh, you haven't found anyone else yet? Like, that's interesting. It's been 5 years. You've just been like, what? Getting permits or something? Like, oh,
those droids are expensive.
Where am I going to be? But he's been fundraising. He's been doing Kickstarters trying to get money for these droids to build the house, because he can't just, use the force.
Artery with Jawas,
He can't just use the force to move these rocks.
Yeah. Oh,
better hire some.
It's mentally tasking. Come on.
Yeah.
So what'd you think about the CGI on the deep fake action of Luke Skywalker?
I liked it better than the first time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I was ready for it.
Yeah.
He's still, it's still, to me, it's like, well, that's a fake Luke. Like, it just looks like a fake Luke to me.
Yeah.
And so, but I think I lost the battle, right? The ship's already sailed. There's nothing I can do about this. Like, if I had a vote on, do you want a deep fake Luke or should we recast Luke? I'm in the recast Luke camp.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I lost that. So I have to accept that it's going to be this weird looking.
So
Luke.
They hired the guy, Lucasfilm hired the guy that fixed the Luke from the Mandalorian episode. Because that
they had hired him.
Fix happened. LucasArts was like, oh, hell no, we're not letting this son of a bitch run around free. We're bringing him into the fold.
Yeah.
And rumor has it, I'm sure it'll truthfully come out, that he basically headed up the project to do everything they could to make it better. And it was so much better. I want to openly commend them for doing a really great job. Yeah. The only thing that bugged me a couple times is every once in a while, Luke's got dead eyes. Like, you can tell he's supposed to be looking at Grogu and he's kind of like, too much blue milk. I mean, it gets a little dead eye.
It kind of shows true to his acting back then.
It's true. He wasn't the most highly polished actor.
No.
But no. I bought it, man. I bought into it. I just hope that if there ever becomes a series that involves Luke Skywalker, because it's going to happen.
Yeah.
The only one that can do it is Sebastian Shaw. And Mark and him have already had battles on social media calling each other, dad and son. Mark Hamill's already given the blessing for it, and the brother carries weight, right? That's going to happen. So
Okay.
I think if it ever does come to pass, or maybe he'll have engagement with Obi-Wan, I guess, will the timeline allow that to happen? Luke and Obi-Wan? I guess no. I'm sorry, no, of course not.
It'd have to be
Yeah.
younger.
So point is, I think Sebastian will eventually wield the lightsaber as Luke.
Yeah, I think that they have been. I think that Disney has been hesitant to recast any of the actors for fear that people would not accept a change of the actors. But I think
Just so stupid.
I think between all the unfortunate deaths of different characters besides Luke, now Leia and Chadwick Boseman, I think they've now heard from enough people to go, no, we would rather have the story than you dump the story because of the actor being not around. So we just want the story. I think they will. I think that there's enough buzz about it that they would be willing to do that now.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
Yeah, exactly. All right,
so we get into Luke doing him and Grogu are training. Grogu's gonna try to sneak in some sushi. Right?
Was that before or after Mando agrees to bail? Oh, okay.
Before, yeah.
Okay.
No, they show that he's there and he's about to try to eat this frog, and and Luke gives him a look of like he has to do this every day.
Yeah,
like every day he's trying to eat. He's trying to tell him, no, we're vegetarians, dude. Jedi are vegetarians. Stop it. I don't think Yoda was.
Actually. Since when are they vegetarians?
In the books, Luke was vegetarian.
Okay, I actually didn't know that, but
yeah,
I thought it was a sweet, funny scene. I mean, it was kind of stupid, like, you raised one frog and almost put it down your big cake hole. I'm going to raise 20 of them and show that you
shove them down. He was trying to pull the cigarette thing. He caught him with the cigarette. Now I'm gonna. Oh, fine. You want a frog? Eat 50. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's reverse psychology. Bad Jedi training, Luke. Bad training. Smack his hand for that.
You need to remember that this is Luke's first time teaching anybody, right?
Yes.
I mean, maybe he taught Leia some.
Oh, well, true. He did, but look how that turned out. She turned herself off from the Force. Well, wait, that's after. All that's after, dude.
What?
This is that's after.
What's after?
Him training Leia in any capacity.
We don't know when they trained.
We got to see it in the most recent third film.
That wouldn't have been. This would have been about right then. They look about the same age.
Maybe.
She turned it off before she had a kid, right?
I'll have to double check that, but yeah.
Did they was there a reference to her turning it off because of Kylo? Oh.
In that movie, yes.
Okay.
So anyway.
Okay, and so then they go for walks and he's giving some wisdom and they're trying to it's funny because I feel like they're trying to okay, we want to give our own Jedi wisdom, so we have to use some of the old ones first, and then that everyone is used to.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna come up with his new ones, and because, I mean, Luke still doesn't know a lot. I mean, to be real, right? He doesn't have a lot of experience being a Jedi.
Yeah.
So he's got to learn.
Kind of no wonder that he effed the whole thing up. I mean, we don't know how many Jedi were successfully trained. And even the comic books don't really reference if there's a whole throng of them or if it was just like 2 or 3 dozen. Because we know eventually he has like a whole crap ton of kids or teens that he's training. But it's interesting because he doesn't seem to know a lot. I don't know when he gets his hands on the actual books. As far as canon.
Yeah, what I did like about Legends is this idea when he was like opening the academy that he was like being honest. Look, I don't quite know how to do this. I'll teach you what I learned, but I'm reading stuff, finding stuff, but we're going to find our way with this.
Yeah. It's kind of like being
I really like that. Oh, so the big thing on here though.
Went right over your head.
What? No, I missed it.
I said it's kind of like in real estate sales.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. We're going to see a bunch of houses. One of them might fit.
Grogu, he helps Grogu flashback to Order 66.
But first, I love the scene and my daughter lost her mind because she loves Grogu so hard. It's adorable.
Yeah.
When he's walking and he's tired of waiting for Grogu, so he keeps
Oh, sorry, levitating.
fanning him on and
Yeah.
lifting him and like bringing him forward like
Yeah.
6 feet every time. Little stuff like that. Like I said last podcast, I love the subtleties of humor
Yeah.
in what they're doing. So I'll buy anything, man. It doesn't matter. I'll buy it. Just keep giving me stupid shit. I'll absorb it. I love it. It's Star Wars. Just the fact that he was doing that to little Grogu just cracked me up.
I thought it was funny. Yeah. And so after the hop walking, he helps him mind meld or whatever, goes back.
Yeah, he did kind of.
And so flashbacks to clearly when Order 66 happened. What I wasn't sure of, I thought it looked like the Jedi Temple.
Totally was. That was the murder scene. That was the big kid.
That was the school? Was it the school?
That was at the Jedi Temple where Order 66 laid out, and then within the academy, within the temples where all the kids were slaughtered by Anakin and the rest of the clones who turned on everybody.
Yeah. So I was like, so here we see that, and then they come at him before he snaps right back.
Yeah. I don't think we've seen the last of that scene. There's going to be something else.
I think because he needs to go back, like, because we don't know how he escaped yet, right?
We don't know who actually saved him, so we're going to find out.
Right. So I think the way that we're going to see this, the only way you can really see it is
from a back tank.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was doing a slow setup, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
A back to tank. That was
little Grogu in a back to tank. Little ears subtly flopping. I totally ruined that for you. I'm sorry, man.
That's all right. It's
okay. Do you want a hug?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, back to tank will help that, and curious PTSD. I mean, they do mention a little. I don't know if this is jumping too far ahead, but it makes sense that he is. When what's her name shows up,
Ashoka. Yep.
Luke tells her that he is remembering more than he's
teaching. Yeah.
And that was interesting. And so, okay. Oh, for one, so now that we know he was definitely being taught then, right?
Yes.
That means we know he is minimum 35, right?
Well, he already registered on IG-89's whatever scanometer to be 50 some odd years old.
Oh, it did. Okay. So we knew that.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So he's 50. I think he is a PTSD kiddo because of what he witnessed. I think he can talk. I think right now he's just been like dumbed into baby state. I think the cooing and stuff has been overdone a bit because I don't think he really is a baby. I think he's just a little dude because their whole species are little dudes, right? He'll get probably 50% bigger, but he's still going to be a little lump of flesh. So I'm curious as to really if they're going to play up the PTSD stuff, because I think Yoda is going to save him in that flashback because Yoda was still there.
Was he?
No, wait, he wasn't. I'm sorry. You know what? I just realized my entire theory just got shot. Because
ruin your life.
I think Grogu is going to be the product, the end result of some alone time between Yoda and Yaddle. Yaddle was never seen again in the comics. She was killed soon after the first of episode 1 when she was shown in the Jedi Temple, basically the female Yoda, right? She was killed shortly after in the cartoons in the comic book storyline, but I think it happened just after she got biddy and had a kiddo who then was raised in the temple.
Well, she could have had him then. I mean, it could have been decades before.
Well, point is, I think that there's not many of that species. Lucas has an iron fist grip on limiting what can be done with these characters. I think, so, I just don't know. I'm curious as to who saves them.
But that would have been so hypocritical of Yoda.
Of Yoda? Shocker. Dude, Yoda was a D-bag. He did all kinds of crazy stuff behind the scenes.
Hypocritical? It wasn't hypocritical though.
He
telling Anakin he can't have any love feelings. Meanwhile,
And yet he was getting his little froggy bonkers on with Yaddle.
and I don't think that's why I don't think that was happening.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think he escaped off to Dagobah just to see if he could hook up eventually again and have like Yaddle show up with
Or
Grogu.
he's like, feelings I have not. I'm just horny.
Exactly.
Horny I am.
Horny I am.
Mm.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, I'm sure.
So wrong.
I guess I'm sure there's fan fiction about it.
That's a different podcast. I'm not willing to participate.
Okay, so Ashaka and
Ashoka.
Mando go for a walk,
Yep.
talking.
And he brings out his little Grogu shaped moist towelette that's holding the present.
Now, I will say, I don't know why, but there's something so delightful for me to watch a Mandalorian and a Jedi walking in the grass together.
I love it.
Like, it made me feel like this is really live action. I don't know why, but it felt like because they're outside or something, it felt a little more special that you got these characters rather than like in some dungeon or I don't know. This just felt extra like they're all together. They're all going to play together. This is
there
so
was
wonderful.
This lightheartedness throughout the entire episode. I mean, like, how much more magical can it be to get a stun droid to float around Grogu and then start zapping his ass and get him to actually start moving fast, right? I mean, those scenes alone were so absolutely wonderful and fun. And by the way, it also harkens back to my original statement that Yoda's species, they're apex murdering predators, because all this slow crap is complete BS. He's a fast little Sonic the Hedgehog mofo that can destroy anybody when he stops like moving around all slow. They're incredibly agile. They use the Force to aid their movement because they're so GD tiny. And I think it's hilarious because we're watching all of this play out. And it was great, man. It was so fun. And actually, it was well done. The whole balancing on one leg thing, I was like, you go, Grogu, you do it. Loved it.
Oh, that was great. I mean, right before that, they had the little scene where Mando decides he's not going to go see Grogu because he's there for himself and not for Grogu.
It would have disturbed the emotional, separation and set Grogu back a few more weeks, right?
And he gets it, and so he leaves with understanding.
Oh, but wasn't it heart-wrenching though? Because you could tell underneath his helmet, he was like just dying inside.
But I want to see him. He's my friend.
Yeah.
So he takes off, and then she brings the little loincloth or
little
whatever
package.
To him. And at this point, we're like 20 minutes into it, and I'm like, this is really cool, but what the hell is going on?
Let's see more training.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait,
let's see more Jedi.
The Mandalorian just left, and we're still gonna stay here? I actually thought that once he left, they were gonna leave off camera, so we wouldn't know what was going on there.
We're gonna see one of the famous George Lucas screen swipes, and it would have gone to the actual show that we're paying money to Disney Plus to actually watch.
Then the fact they stayed there with him, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you got to see the iconic backpack of little Grogu hanging out on Luke. Now Luke is the teacher, and little dude is the student.
Yeah.
His epic flip that he was famous doing in the original Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
Empire Strikes Back. Sorry.
Absolutely, though, loved this climbing up of the thinnest bamboo tree.
Yeah, that was weird, man.
But I liked it. I think he was showing off. He was basically showing off with the Force.
He was totally.
Like, I don't need to be like a big tree. Like, I'm one with the Force. I'm up here. I just need to steady myself, and I'm cool. I actually really like that. And then they showed the.
Of course, you also like Moonfall. So really, there's only so much I can believe what you're saying right now.
Like, for different reasons.
Oy vey. Okay. Yeah.
You didn't even see it, so
I'm still gonna judge you.
Huh? It could be the greatest movie on earth, so you have no idea until you see it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we see Luke's practice lightsabering, and then showing him a badass. This is how you get to be if you're a badass. You can stay here and train with me.
Yeah.
You're gonna get this. So but I'm not going to give you a lightsaber yet. First, we're just going to shoot at you.
Yeah.
And then let's get past this. What I mean, did you like that he crushed it though?
Oh, as far as the stun droid,
Yeah.
I thought, to me, it was like one of those oddly unnecessary things. But think about the times that little Grogu has used the Force.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did he do that before to somebody? Yeah, he
choked out the big rhinoceros thing,
That's
allowing
right.
Mando to use the smallest pocket knife in Star Wars history, one little shot to like the ear, and snuffed that big rhino dude.
Yeah.
He almost killed Cara Dune by choking her out. So, like I said, man, PTSD, little brother's got some serious issues. He needs like Dr. Phil to come out in like some type of a moderately imperial outfit, or maybe give him some Weequay coils, and have him come out and say, I need to know what your motivation is for almost choking everybody out. So
he's like, it's sexual. It's just
it's totally sexual. Yeah,
sexual
it is. Now, did you also notice how Luke kept throwing Yoda's speech into the training? And then talking like he's kind of dissing Yoda, like always speaking in riddles. He is, or was, and
Well, and part of me was like, wait, did you not get that he was just old? And like I thought he sounded a little dumb when he said that. I'm like, he had brain trauma from fighting the Emperor, and he was 900. He's not that. It wasn't the way his people speak, dude.
We don't know that. We don't know that. I think that's the way.
He didn't speak like that in the episode 1 and 2.
Yes, he did. He totally did. All of his verbiage was, well, maybe it was a little bit less, but all of his verbiage was always, even during the cartoons, all of his verbiage takes one or two of the adverbs or adjectives and noun and F's with it and puts it in different order.
I felt like as soon as he got hit by the Emperor, he started like doing it extra. Remember, I didn't watch the cartoons because of the stupid robots.
Yeah. No, but even during the first episode 1, 2, 3, Yoda still spoke in sort of subtle riddles and or just juxtaposed, switched around a couple of the words.
Okay.
That's definitely the way their species interprets, English, whatever.
So we had this little chat between them.
Yes.
Chat Okoshana and
Ashoka?
Okachana and Luke, and then they swipe back to the desert.
Yes.
Of Mando landing at Boba Fett's tower.
Yep.
This is nitpicky, but I did feel like it was a little weird. He shows up and the Gamorrean comes out like, who the hell are you? I'm like you didn't get flight clearance or something. I don't know. Felt weird, like they wouldn't know.
Are big dough-shaped pigs, so really
he probably forgot by the time he got there.
Yeah.
Why am I here again? Oh yeah.
You can't get good help nowadays.
And then we see the meeting of the gang. Why they had the mayor's sidekick there, that didn't seem like good.
Didn't make sense to me.
Planning.
Not the smartest move, but he is a prisoner. So they're hoping that he's going to be able to put forth something. And he's such a hateful damn actor anyway. I wish they'd just pop him. But the fact that he, again, for comedic sense, that was a planned excursion. Touch my tendrils. He's kind of like the guy from Family Guy that shaped like a penis. I mean, he's just kind of that weird, like giggity guy, and he just needs to be buried in the sand along with bantha tracks and stuff.
And so then we get into this thing that he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go find." Amanda's like, "Oh, I know some people who come fight for you." At first, for a half second, I was like, "He's not getting Jawas, is he?" That's weird. But no.
I thought he was going to go after Tuskens. I thought he was going to go find another tribe and claim his stake as far as being kind of a Tusken dude. I was really hoping that
would have been something. That would have been
something.
Mandalorian. And then this guy, the sheriff deputy, didn't he kind of look like I thought he looked a little bit like Poe when I saw him. I was like,
yeah, sort of.
This little sort of.
Yeah. He was just a greenhorn, and look what happened to him.
And he's trying to
Yeah.
tell him where to park. Oh, you're parked in the wrong spot. You gotta park over there. I was like, oh, that sand there is no good. Go park over in that sand. You're blocking the way of the sand, buddy.
Who's going to go out there with like the white sand and like, draw the lines
You're
right
gonna
next
get a
to the
ticket.
cantina,
You get a ticket, man.
But every time they show this town, now of course it's called Freetown, the bartender, the Weequay, is the same actor that played the equivalent role in Deadwood. So to have Timothy Oliphant and that guy together every time, it just cracks me up because they're having a party, right?
Yeah.
In between takes. And that whole, it's like the town, it's not a town, it's like two portables. Like when your school got too big and they expanded and they stuck your ass out in the portable for a semester, that's what the town looks like with a couple moisture evaporators.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I like that everybody when they see the Naboo starfighter, they're like, ooh, like it's like a 68 Mustang. They're like, oh, you got one of those. How you do? Oh my God, in yellow? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. But the fact that they're looking at it almost as if it's a horse, like everything has that old towny feel to it. Again, the good, bad, and the ugly. And he's trying to convince them that it's suddenly their fight. Yeah. And how stupid can they be to not realize? And, Mando's like, we're all on the same planet. It's like,
yeah.
You're not worried right now, but you're on the same planet. It's like, to me, that'd be pretty obvious, but
yeah,
it's okay. And then, of course, the Jawa sandcrawler at some point shows during this with the huge dragon head on it, the one that they all killed as the town of Freetown.
Oh, right before this. Yeah. I totally.
Yeah. And just the fact that all the little dudes love Mando now cracked me and my kids up because they're like, and they're all waving and stuff. And it was just so freaking hilarious.
Y'all forget when he was killing a bunch of you in the first season?
But he got the egg. He got the egg after Grogu and him choked out the rhino dude. They got the fuzzy egg, and that made him a hero.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it's just so funny how we're watching Boba Fett and all we're doing is referencing Mando episodes.
Mando Mando leaves.
Yeah.
With the it sounds like you guys probably don't want to.
Yep.
Don't know if they'll help.
Yep.
And then finally the person referenced in the title shows up, a stranger who is clearly somebody from Rebels that I don't know if it was the last season or if I just have trouble remembering, but he looked really familiar to me.
Rebels, Clone Wars, all the comics, trained by either Boba Fett or partially Mando. He knows everyone involved in this now. So are you going to say who it is, or am I going to say
who? You say who it is.
Cad Bane.
Okay. Yeah.
Epic bounty hunter. Total badass. Again, fan service. I'm sure there's a point to have men.
So why is he working with the Pike Syndicate?
Because he was deemed the galaxy's most dangerous bounty hunter after Boba Fett was essentially assumed, swallowed, dead, and gone. So he took that mantle. He takes any job, any amount of money, high ranking, of course, though, has earned the most kills, earned the most pucks, total badass, feared, and very loyal to the point of not caring what side he's on. So from a fan perspective, we all like homicidal maniacs, right? Dexter, anyone? He's a total wackadoo, and oh my God, they've done such a great job. Like already, the interweb is lighting up because they've done such a great job with all the animatronics in his face to make him come alive, his snarl. And it's the same voice. I'm assuming it's not the same physical actor, but it's the same voice as the guy who does Cad Bane in all the original cartoons. So again, fan service 101, they nailed it because he's creepy and he's the Clint Eastwood of bounty hunters. Pure and simple, good, bad, and the ugly. Complete with the blasters, the whole demure way he walks and comes out of the hazy sand into focus. Brilliantly done.
It's interesting because they introduced the deputy just so that he could be killed.
He's basically a red shirt.
Yeah, so that we can not to kill the sheriff completely. a distraction for an excuse.
Yeah.
Sheriff plays dead. Sheriff's like, oh, well, you didn't really hit me, but I'm going to lay here for a while.
Yeah, he totally plays dead. And if you watched it with captions on like I do, so I don't miss things, you can see them all going over, and the stuff you can't even hear shows on the captions. It's like, oh, he's injured, get a med kit, so on and so forth. So they're already tending to him like he's just injured.
Yeah.
So Timothy's going to come back, of course.
Yeah, I knew that. Expected that. Bartender's looking at it like, no, nobody does that to our sheriff.
Yep. And that just means the townspeople who rallied against the crate dragon with Mando's help are going to do the same thing, show up in town. Hopefully they'll all have Disney colored speeder bikes, hover bikes.
Okay.
And add to the mods,
Okay. And so then we go to Los Espa.
Yeah.
The Pikes going into carrying the suitcase into the
carrying
bar,
the ice cream maker. Yeah.
putting it there.
I called it, dude. It was so obvious.
Well, once they got up and left, I was like, that's a bomb. That's a bomb. That's a bomb. You're going to blow it up. And then I'm like, okay, so this is the beginning of war, right? But she's not dead.
No, but she'll probably have some nasty scar or something, and then she'll back to tank it out. I think my guess, the helmet cleaners are dead.
Yeah.
The cute Twi'lek and the boy. I think obviously the droid holding the bomb got incinerated.
How does she like, I mean, they're just gonna cheat it, right? That it wasn't that there was time between when he said, hey, you forgot your purse.
Well, if it's a radius based explosive, then it's only going to take out so wide.
But it blew out the windows.
But he was close to the door. That droid, I mean, like
she looked closer. She was right in front of him.
She was behind. She was like over stage left, and the Pikes came in and took stage right table closest to the door, so they could get out quickly.
And then she walked over there, and the droid goes, oh, and then she looks after him. I just watched it on the screen.
Okay. I didn't catch that she was that close. So maybe she is toast. But if they remove Jennifer Beals from the series, I'm done.
But what I think is they might have planned to kill her off, but I'm guessing now that they got people's reaction, they're gonna have to retcon this to that, like they beamed her out or something.
She could have hid under a freaking table.
Yeah, whatever. She's standing by the door. She's standing near the door.
Okay.
But I think they'll have something that, it almost got me. But if it weren't for those, good thing I bought this flame retardant outfit.
Yeah, this happens the doily she's currently wearing.
So then, of course, we got to go back to the forest planet.
Academy. Yep, back to the academy.
And where Luke lays out the choice between them. You can say Yoda's saber, which...
Yoda's saber. Hello. They just retconned an incredibly important thing. In the comics, Darth Vader actually got Yoda's saber. I don't remember how, but basically
didn't he drop it when he was getting his ass kicked by the Emperor?
At one point, yeah. But
I don't know if
either way,
he made a new. I figured he must have made a new one.
No, they've totally retconned that for
whatever.
Make a
new one. Like he went to Dagobah, he was like, "I'm done with lightsabers." He's not going to make a new one.
He had a freaking. For starters, you can't make a saber without a kyber crystal, so he doesn't have that on Dagobah. And second of all, he went nuts over a beef jerky stick. For crying out loud, the guy was total wackadoo at the end. So Yoda was not all there. Okay. But just the fact that they retcon this and gave Luke the saber to now give to Grogu, I think is crazy. Like crazy cool, but at the same time, something is still off with that. So again, that completely ruins all of our thoughts before about who made baby Grogu. Right? No, I guess it doesn't, because Grogu's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
So when does he stop babbling like a stupid baby, worthless lump of flesh, and start saying, "Ow, you shot me, you asshole"? taser droid.
Are you gonna like him being like, hey, also, by the way, he could have a disability. He could not be able to speak. He could be mute.
So the next droid we see is going to be a short bus that's dragging his butt around. Come on, man.
Not saying he's mentally challenged. He could just not have the ability to speak. He could be mute. He could have a birth defect.
No, I think
they're gonna have someone else come and they're gonna be like Danny DeVito playing him and they'll be like, "What's wrong with you, Grogu? You can't talk."
I think that's a possibility, yes. But I also think what's more likely is the first two episodes. Once again, I think he's going to make the decision. Okay, let's cover that really, really quickly. So honestly, Luke is kind of a jerk. He's like, "Hey, we got this nice gift for you. It's actually the same vest that the Hobbit wore in Lord of the Rings. It's made of mithril / Beskar, right? So for starters, I don't know that type of outfit existed in space. So it's funny that it's a freaking, little tiny beadlet vest.
Yeah.
I think, and he's like this or the lightsaber. Get the lightsaber, stay with me, train to be a Jedi, or take this and go crying back to daddy. Luke is kind of given a major milestone here.
But he has to get a choice. It has to be his choice and free will to stay and study. And he was guilted about leaving when he left his training.
True.
But
he knows tough decisions have to be made. If he's supposed to be training this new breed of Jedi, I was actually just surprised that he did that. But it definitely builds up to everything else I really want to share in just a second, but I'll wait till you give your opinion.
I was going to say it. I think it's a good point that I forget which one of them says it, that Grogu, his time is like he's going to have a long life.
Yeah.
So, it may seem like quick time to him, but Mando could be gone by the time he could be hanging out and realize, wait, he's dead already? What happened? We were just hanging out.
Yeah.
Time. So hey, if you want to see him, this might be your only chance, because if you go further with this, you're not gonna get it. It's, you know what this is? This is like when the Amish have to go have their freaking Deutsch?
Yeah, something
Party
like that.
Deutsch? Yeah.
Sure.
Where they go out and have their last hurrah before they come commit to the Amish way.
They go turn light bulbs on and off and have a freak out. I know, like, oh my god. Yeah. I think. Okay, so which way do you think he's going to go? You think he's going to go crying back to daddy pants, or
obviously for season 3, he's got to go back.
Okay, all right. See, I do too. I think it was actually a very weakly handled cliffhanger into next week where we see or not. You see, again, I'm convinced we're not going to see Jack. Next week is going to be the episode where all the hoverboards take over the planet. The Pikes are somehow run over by the hoverboards. End of story. Boba Fett's going to show up swinging Rancor arms around because he's going to be riding them in some weird outfit. And we're not going to see any of this crap that we just witnessed this week. We're not going to see the decision because it wouldn't make sense to.
No. We won't.
At the very end of the battle, Grogu's going to show up and then utter his first word, "Papa," and Mando's going to go, "Freedom!" He's going to pull off his helmet. Yeah, exactly. Again, I don't think we're going to see anything wrap up.
My big concern now, because back on episode, when I was a naive young man at the end of episode 4, I was like, how are they going to stretch what needs to happen in like 1.5 episodes into 3 whole episodes? Well, now we know by skipping 2 episodes worth of material. Now I got to go. Who are these people that I don't care? I don't care about these people anymore.
Again, the very first thing I said about this series is next series of Mandalorian, next season, it's going to have 2 episodes to wrap up the things that we've all been dealing with over the last thing. Now, at the same time, I think it's genius that they've done this. They've guaranteed a viewership for whenever the heck Mandalorian season 3 is coming out. And
at this point, I think it's Mandalorian season 4 at this point.
And Obi-Wan, is coming out. I think I just saw something about that. May of 2022, the Obi-Wan series premieres.
May the 4th.
So there could be something in there. For all I know, the first 3 episodes of Obi-Wan are going to be the goddamn Ashoka series. I mean, it's all going to be so confusingly intertwined, and it points back toward the crazy genius of the people behind this. You're going to have to watch everything to make it all make sense. It's the perfect marketing.
2022 doesn't have I don't see a date yet. But I don't know. I see a trailer, but I'm like, that can't be real, right?
There isn't a real trailer for the Obi-Wan
so
series.
That's a fake trailer. You sons of guns. Wait, Kumal is in it?
Kumal's in it.
Sun Kang?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
And then the gal from Rome, who's I love her. She was in Rome and was in the Game of Thrones as the wife of the Mandalorian's character in real life. Him.
What?
From Game of Thrones. The Mandalorian character in real life was in Game of Thrones, and he got his eyeballs poked out.
Oh, that's right.
By the crazy dude. His
Indira
wife.
Irma?
His wife is an Obi-Wan. She's I'm so bad at names, but she's really
this is a real life wife or
no real life
series?
Wife from the Game of Thrones series.
Wait, was it a wife? That wasn't a sister. It's hard to tell in Game of Thrones.
Wife.
Okay.
Wife. And she was also in Torchwood. I loved her in Torchwood.
She was also in a film in 1996 called Kama Sutra: A Tale of Love.
Hey. She's not afraid to do things.
She'll have a lot of fans.
Yeah, well, she's British too.
She was a pretty badass character in that.
She's obscenely talented.
Yeah,
I've loved her in everything I've seen her in. So I think it's going to be great.
So I don't know. Last episode,
I feel personally attacked. It's just all very confusing, and I want consistency and peace in my Star Wars world. And right now, I just feel somehow violated, and it's like, touch me once and walk away. It's like I'm just so confused right now.
If they had called this season 3 of Mandalorian, I would have been less bothered.
Yeah. I actually find myself missing Tamira Morrison's Boba Fett character. I mean, he said like 3 words.
Yeah.
And they weren't even very good.
Right. Well, okay. So next week, wraps it up. And we get to see what life is like after.
Yeah, and I give this episode of Mandalorian 8 out of 10 because I still loved it. It's Star Wars. I loved watching the training.
Okay.
I loved Grogu.
As an episode of Mandalorian, I would give this an 8.5. As an episode of Boba Fett, I give it a 7.
2.
A
7? Really?
This will make me try to watch some Rebels in between time so I can see who this guy is.
You really should. Rebels is a little hard at first because like Ezra is just.
No, I've watched a bunch of it. I just have to see the last bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's actually beautifully scripted.
Yeah, no, I liked it a lot. I just got busy. I had like 2 babies.
What? Does your wife know?
No, that's why it's taking so much time.
Okay. Wow. I didn't know your life was so traumatic.
Oh, it's a spaghetti western. Okay. Hey, until next time, be sure to check out my other podcast, Black and a Half, and check out Brian Trendler's podcast, Shut Up and Laugh. Available where you listen to your favorite podcast.
Amen. Good to see you, brother. Till next time.
Till next time, may the force be with you.
Impressive. Fuzzball. Join us. Impressive.